Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Are you saying the coalition needs to be restructured? Because
The coalition is useless.
Okay, we've depended on that for a long time. Because they bring a bill every session, they do modifications, okay?
True, and the wording is always, if you sit there, the wording is always where they are learning of ways to control the resident. I stood right there at the coalition meeting 2 meetings ago, not this last one, and I addressed the people there. I said, if we get these laws approved, and we send them up to the representatives of 2 houses to be approved, and they get passed, why can't we get them enforced? Don't you agree we should enforce them? You know what they said? They sat down and didn't say a word. They didn't want to answer that question. Because nobody wants to enforce the laws that benefit their residents.
Okay.
We're neglected. And we have quite a population in this state.
I want to make sure that you received it. So just shoot me a text back that you received my.
I
just sent you a text with my cell. I just want to make sure you received it.
Send him a reply.
Do you text?
No.
I don't do that stuff. I got out of real estate because I couldn't keep up with that stuff.
You mean you're not tweeting at 3 in the morning? You're not tweeting at 3 in the morning, you mean? You're not Instagram or whatever that is?
I deal with people.
Just so you know, if you ever try to Facebook me, folks, I'm not on there. I do have a page, but I personally can't stand Facebook, so.
I don't think anybody's safe on Facebook anymore.
Amen.
We're all getting attacked no matter who we are.
That's right. Whether it's gossip or identity theft, we're not safe. Okay, this gentleman's next, and then Mr. Inga.
My question's a lot less controversial. I believe in balanced use of one of our greatest resources in the state, and that's its forests. Multiple use, and as farmers, you probably understand you want to preserve it for future generations as well. But at the same time, I'm seeing the other states, have more stringent restrictions on their forest practices. I understand, and I've analyzed the proposals that are underway under HB 3226.
Is that the one that was heard yesterday?
I'm not sure when it was heard, but it's for basically modernizing and updating the Oregon Forest Practices Act. And I've looked at some things and some proposals as part of that. I haven't bought into the fact that landowners with 5,000 acres and more need to be doing comprehensive forest management plans, obtaining public comment, doing watershed analyses and all that. But I buy into some of the concepts that are being proposed. I don't recall when the last time was that the Oregon Forest Practices Act was updated or revised. And it may be time to look at some of the proposals that I won't call them tree huggers, but some of the environmentalists who care about the forests are proposing as part of some of these updates and modernizations for our forest practices. And a side note on this is what can we do to encourage greater multiple use, a little bit more balanced use on the public lands managed by the BLM. We've got our libraries closing tomorrow. It's front page news today. I know I've been in touch with your cohorts in District 5, and they've responded to me. Senator Roblin and Caddy McCowan, they're doing some proactive things, out getting money, $20,000 support. They're not going to get that.
That's pure political fluff.
Okay, well that's good to know. But yeah, it did seem like a minimal amount, $20K to the Oregon Business Development. But Reedsport is moving forward with a strong library there, and that's all related to that county funding stream, trying to get more intensive timber production, balanced use on the federal lands as well. So my concerns are about just basic forest management. What your thoughts are?
The Oregon Forest Practices Act is maybe the best in the entire nation.
Don't even go there.
It is.
Go there.
And compare the Oregon Forest Practices Act to what we can do in the federal forest, which is nothing. I would be more focused on trying to get some reasonableness in the way Forest Service and BLM are managing their land, because they're not managing.
Right. I mean, we have total fatigue as far as the timber industry, as far as when you look at the federal lands, the way they just let them burn up and it just sits there black forever. I mean, to go back to the Oregon Forest Practices Act and start retooling that when we can't even get the feds to get their kitchen in order, it's a pretty hard
Well,
sell.
I know a lot of us are working, even at the level of writing President Trump, the Interior Secretary Zinke. President Trump has promised to meet with Congressman Walden when they get some time, and Secretary of Interior Zinke, and try to develop a plan for forest management challenges out here.
You would hope that Congressman Walden could get something done, considering his position in the House. So.
But there are some things in 3226, about buffers on streams, maybe restoration, 3226 House Bill, closure of logging.
They're already buffers. What does that do to them?
Expands them.
It would expand them, I'm sure, yeah, on probably lower order streams. Closure and restoration of logging roads, providing counties, cities, and water districts with flexibility to strengthen some restrictions within the watersheds that they're obtaining their water from for municipalities. Prohibit logging on high-risk landslide areas. These are some things I support.
I haven't read the bill.
Okay.
It's a House bill, so.
I understand.
I'm not on that committee. It's in Natural Resources.
Okay.
Miss, and then you're next.
Yeah, actually, if there's something that's pretty easy to solve, it's before the House Judiciary Committee, and it's House Bill 2215, which is a homeless bill of rights, which actually prevents local jurisdictions from passing laws against sleeping and such things, which actually has only cost local municipalities buckets and buckets and buckets of money trying to enforce nonsense laws to deal with a really serious social problem we have, not just in Douglas County, but statewide, and that is homelessness. And, so in case those folks over there in the mobile home parks do get evicted, and they need to sleep in a park or a public place in Douglas County, they don't have to worry about getting ticketed or arrested for doing so. It's pretty simple. It's been in the state legislature. One of the people who introduced the bill is actually a former sheriff. So, the reality is
that Noble?
I don't remember her name.
Carla.
Yeah. The reality is it's stuck in the Judiciary Committee, so actually it can help to kind of put pressure to get it out of the Judiciary Committee and get a hearing and basically protect the fundamental constitutional rights of some of our most vulnerable citizens. Whether you like them or not, they still have the right to have the Constitution protect them from being infringed upon by local jurisdictions that don't know what the heck to do about homelessness.
And a lot, our military with PTSD.
Yeah.
Being served by the VA. I volunteer with homeless, yeah. Right, yep.
Miss? You?
As this gentleman pointed out over here, our libraries are closing and they're logging our parks, and Secure Rural Schools, the safety net funds, supplied almost $9 billion since its inception, and it has been ended for about a year now, and I wonder what we are doing, what you guys are doing to get our Secure Rural Schools funds kicked back in again, because you would have to increase timber cut 400% to cover what we get from Secure Rural Schools. Timber, the industry isn't going to come back like it was, and we really need to have that money replaced. So there are 2 senators right now that are working on that. What do you guys know about it, and are you supporting that? Because Douglas County is hurting in the biggest way,
But I'm going to say, as a millennial generation individual with a 3-year-old and a new child on the way, I can't accept that we're not going to get back on track with our natural resources. We're being pushed in a position by politicians and bureaucrats from Washington, D.C. to basically put in a position where we're fighting over table scraps. I mean, we think about it. All this legislation that's being pushed down our throats to mandate that employers do this with their schedules or do this with their benefits, or counties trying to get federal welfare to supplement the income we've lost from not managing our forests properly. I mean, it's really becoming a crime, folks. Yeah. I mean, when are we going to get back to being real and getting back to actually utilizing our natural resources? Yeah. We can't. I want to fund education. Like I said, I'm about to be the father of 2 boys. I've just got 1 at the moment. I want them to have good educations. I want your children and grandchildren to have good educations.
I refuse to have my children have grandchildren. My children
I'm a younger millennial than you, and I don't have children because I really think you're
We don't have a future.
Well,
My children
that's
don't
your
have a future.
choice, that's not my choice. I choose to get our natural resources back on track in any way we possibly can, so that we can actually get back to work. I don't want a handout from the government, I want to work.
So you want everybody here to starve because you won't ask
No,
for
I want to
welfare?
work.
Because you won't ask for welfare.
I want to
work. When the work is wrong.
I'm not gonna ask for welfare, I'm gonna work.
If we depended on
Because
war
eventually
for
there's
any
no
job,
money
we would
for the
insist-
welfare.
Okay, stop.
Time out.
We have sent resolutions to Congress asking them to do that. That's all we can do. We can't dictate to Congress. But we have made entreaties to our congressional delegation that we need that funding to keep coming. That's all we can do.
It's best you can do.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
Have you done anything? And
Yes, we
are
have.
getting anywhere?
Ask the people in DC. All we can do is do resolutions and letters, and we've done that, okay? Quite honestly, Congress doesn't listen to state legislators a whole lot, so.
I'm not sure who they're listening to sometimes. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Actually, I agree with a tremendous amount of what you guys are saying. And so I'm quite concerned about, one thing about the world economy, the forests of Douglas County are going to be managed in Douglas County. It cannot be exported to another country. And, regardless of our position, everybody here really cares about our forests and what we're doing. And the thing is, I testified at the legislature yesterday in support of House Bill 3226, and I brought a copy of my testimony. And so, permit me the aside to say I drove to Salem on Wednesday in the pouring rain, and regardless of our positions on any of these issues, I want to concur with other people in the audience and say thank you for doing the work that you do. And that legislature is very hectic, high pressure. You're there day in, day out, and I've got a lot of respect for that. And I also appreciate you two having a public meeting and standing up and let's talk about it. But I think that so often the fight that we have is in the community, because we all care about our forests, is you have two extremes, and one is saying, well, what do you want? You want money and economy and buying equipment and, feeding your family and stuff, or do you want a pristine environment? And I think that's a false balance. And that the pristine environment, that there's ways to log and manage our forests that do not need to have the harsh impact that people are mad about. Actually, there's thin most people don't know it because they can't see it. Well, they can see a big nasty clear cut. And I'm not absolutely opposed to clear cutting, but there's too much ground that I see that should be getting thin, is getting clear cut. So I did deliver testimony, and I wanted to bring you guys a copy, and I compare the money that you can make in selective harvest and protecting your watershed, and doing it for the money is the parable of the goose that laid the golden eggs. I'm for picking up eggs, cutting 10% of my volume. Most people never know was logged. Where you clear cut, you go in there one time, take all the money. Then you create a whole series of problems that you have to spend money to fix, and there's too much spraying. People are really uptight about the spraying. And the other thing is, there's so much I don't know. It's expanding exponentially every day. There's a few things that I do know. I was involved in the reforestation business in Douglas County for a long time. And the south end of this county is not prime timberland. And in the photos that the industry was showing at the hearings, they had all these beautiful stands of reproduced timber. You have 4-year-old timber chin high. Well, that ain't the south end of this county. And I think that we as a community, and I completely agree with what you first said, Jeff, about how when we work together locally, that's when things get done. It's a lot less money, a lot less hassle. I'm the president of a little irrigation district, small potatoes. But we have some of the cheapest water.
I've been to your meetings,
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, it's because we have a little group, we run it ourselves. It isn't bureaucracy. No place is the foolishness of bureaucracy than in this whole OLCC, Organization of Recreational Marijuana. If ever there was I mean, the Republicans should be jumping all over that for a waste of time. They keep changing the rules back and forth. It's something that should be done. Forgive me, I rattle on, but Dallas, this is the first time I've ever met you in person. Please read that and then give it to Jeff and take a look at it. I propose a whole series of ways that we can do better to make money. Do it for the money. The money is in clean water, in the fisheries, and whether global warming, who did it, I don't care. What I do care about is the south end of this county and the forest fires down there are not getting the kind of reforestation attention they need. I planted trees up there on that neck of mine.
Richard, this is a single copy, correct?
Yes, I only had one. But anyway, I'll say, let me say one last thing, I'll sit down and shut up. Please consider the ideas being put forward in House Bill 3226. I think that there are naturally some government overreach issues, but it's having a process that's in keeping with some of our land use rules where we can begin to work through this situation. Didn't occur in a week. It's going to take time. We need to begin working together as communities. So I wrote those out, and I appreciate if you read it and pass it to Senator Kruse and watch for the hearings.
See, I'd have never thought to do something like that.
Thank you.